Alright, welcome back to another video. Today we take a look at the new generation of gaming keyboards. Now, what matters most inside this new generation of gaming keyboards is not the external side of the keyboard, but what is included in the keyboard. For those of you who know about the Wooting, this is basically nearly the exact same thing but with a custom keyboard base. This is the Akko Mod 007BHE. One of Akko's latest release, it is currently priced at $200. Starting with accessories included, we have a core USB-C cable, keycap and switch puller, extra screws, and a wireless receiver. Now, for the keyboard itself, as I mentioned, the keyboard's main feature is what is found internally, which is our switches, and this keyboard comes equipped with Akko's yellow magnetic switch. But for our keyboard, it is a 75% wireless aluminum custom keyboard kit, features your usual knob like the other Mod 007s, and basically the general shape you would find on the Mod 007. But something new is that on the back we do find an aluminum weight with the Akko logo lasered on it. So let's go through the custom keyboard side of things before I get into the gaming side of things. The keyboard is held together by 6 screws and the top cover comes off. We unplug the 2 cables attached to the PCB. So on the bottom frame we do find a 3600 mAh battery. This allows you to wirelessly connect via Bluetooth or the receiver. And of course we have our daughter board for a Type-C wired connection. Last but not least, we do have a Poron PCB foam. I'm basically gonna keep all these included in the kit. I'm not gonna customize it too much. On our top cover, we basically have cutouts for our gasket mount. Now, onto our PCB sandwich. So these switches are magnetic, which means they don't use leaves, they don't use pins, right? This also means that the bottom of the switch is flat and it doesn't directly connect to our PCB, which means after I remove the screws holding the PCB and the plate together, I will be able to remove our plate with the switches still installed. As for our PCB, we do find a PE foam and 3-pin sockets. The 3-pin sockets are basically not being used currently, but you will be able to use it if you want to change out your switches. If you know, certain keys you don't really want to use the Hall effect switches, you would be able to use normal switches. And it comes equipped with south-facing hot swappable sockets. And to top it all off, we have pre-looped screw-in stabilizers. For our plate, they are running an aluminum plate. We do have plate foam under that as well. With no leaves or pins, these switches use magnets and Hall effect sensors to register your key presses. It is also called Hall effect switches. There is a scientific explanation behind Hall effect sensors or Hall effect switches, but to put it in the simplest and easiest way for everyone to understand, the Hall effect sensors are found on our PCB, and these Hall effect sensors detect magnets or magnetic fields. So our switches have magnets. So when our magnets go towards that sensor, the Hall effect sensors detect the magnetic field and the magnet on the switch to create your key press. But with this whole system of magnets and Hall effect sensors, this basically gives the customization that gamers want. But before I show you exactly how this Akko keyboard works, let me finish up the build so that we can actually use it. I'm gonna throw on a set of Osume keycap sets. These are called Tsukimi and they really make the keyboard come together. You know, it doesn't look like a gaming keyboard, it looks like a custom keyboard. Now, onto the topic of the switches and why is it so customizable. With these Hall effect switches, you can basically customize exactly where you want your actuation to be. And our first main feature that everyone uses is rapid trigger. So for example, you're b-hopping in CSGO and you have to input a certain key twice, right? In normal switches, you would have to actuate the switch, fully release it, and go for a second input. That's for normal switches. But with Hall effect switches, what you're able to do is basically hover right above the actuation point. So, for example, our actuation point is right here. You would be able to actuate the switch, just hover slightly above the actuation point and go back for your second actuation. And with this system, the rapid trigger system, you can basically rapidly trigger the actuation point without fully releasing the switch, which is why it's called rapid trigger, and it's extremely useful in Osu. I don't really play Osu myself, but Squashy has told me all about people breaking world records with this rapid trigger system. Next up is dynamic keystroke. Because we have full customization over our actuation, our bottom, our release, every single thing, you are able to bind keystrokes to points of the switch. For example, this isn't the best example because there are buy presets in the game right now, but in CSGO, you would be able to bind a single key press to buy an AK. But it is just a very simple example of how you can bind different keys to different points in your switch. So with these switches and these internals, this is what brings the Akko Mod 07BHE into the new generation of gaming keyboards. Anyway, if you guys are interested in this keyboard, do check out the description down below. It is currently in stock for $200. If you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up down below, and if you're down there, might as well leave a comment down below on what do you think about this keyboard. And subscribe if you enjoy keyboard content or enjoy my content in general. The typing test is at the end of this video, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.